Albert Einstein, one of the smartest human beings to ever walk on the face of the earth, said, "Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it, earn it. He who doesn't, pay it." He might have also said the most powerful force in the universe is compound interest. So what does Albert Einstein mean with compound interest and how we can use it to our advantage? To put it simply, compound interest is the interest you earn on your principal plus the interest you earned before. But it doesn't have a lot of effect until you hit the 100K mark. That's why net worth explode after the 100K, because you have the 100K working for you, generating return that add up over the previous return plus your saving, which produce more and more interest. And the longer it takes, the bigger it become. Let's go through the basics one step at a time and it will all fit into place. First of all, let's take a look at why it start exploding at 100K and compare it to a smaller amount. So if you started with $1,000 invested and you were collecting a 10% return per year, at the end of 1 year, you will only end up making $100. It's a very small amount, not gonna have a big cascade event. However, if we went to a 10,000 at 10%, that generated $1,000. It's a little bit better, but it's not significant to change your life. However, once you reach the 100,000, at the same formula, notice we are still getting a return of 10% in each of these three scenarios. However, because you invested 100,000, you are collecting $10,000 after 1 year. 10,000 is definitely a significant amount, and it can help your growth significantly in the following years. And that's why reaching the first 100,000 should be your goal. This is where most of the hard work gonna be. After that, the 100,000 itself generating $10,000 per year return for you will boost significantly your journey toward the first 1 million. Using the power of compound interest, you can beat high earner people, meaning if they were saving their money in a bank account while you were investing your money at 7 to 10 or even higher return, like 12 or 15% per year. Let's go through the number. If you were to save $10,000 per year and your target was to get to 1 million without any compound interest and you're just saving it in a saving account, that will take you 100 years to get there. Even if that person saved $20,000, it's only going to cut it in half to 50 years. I don't know about you, but that's a very long time. Let's see how using the power of compound interest, we can shorten this time significantly. Let's take a look at this chart. You might see it a lot, either the same or a similar version, but the numbers will all do the same. Here, you are assumed that you are starting your saving with a $0. That means you don't have any. And you are saving only $10,000 per year, which is less than 1,000 per month. I think is doable for a lot of people, with a very conservative return of only 7% interest per year. Now, if you watch any of my videos, you know I use options on the stock market to leverage our position and create a much higher return. Anywhere between 12 to 15 should be the minimum that I'm aiming for, hopefully much higher than that. If you want to learn more, just follow my channel and check the rest of the options videos. Anyway, going back to the chart, as you can see here, it will take about 7 years and a half to get to the first 100,000. That will be a 25% of our journey toward the 1 million. In reality, this will be the hardest part, because after that, even if we continue to save just $10,000 and we didn't raise it at all, the compound interest that is coming to us from the 100,000 will help us significantly reach our goal. As you can see in the chart, the next 100,000, it will not take 7 years and a half. It will take just a little bit under 5 years. And then for the one after, you can see it's 3.69 years, and so on. It keeps shrinking until when you're going from 900 to a million, it will only take you a little bit over a year to get there. And here is another chart that shows you the amount in a clear manner, and you can see again that the first 100,000 is about 25% of the journey, while the last 100,000 is just 1/3 of a year. Now, if you went to Google and search for compound interest, you will find a lot of sites that provide you with a compound interest calculator. They all do the same. If you just pick one of them and enter the numbers that matches your case, you will get the result that you are projecting to achieve. And I will advise you to really play with a compound interest calculator. It's magical, especially if it's the first time you're seeing it. It's just the numbers and how it can grow over time is just mind-blowing. So here we are going to change it to match our case. We are going to start with initial investment of 0. We're going to say the interest rate is 7% yearly. We're going to aim for 30 years. The compound frequently, we are going to put it on 1 year. The deposit, this is what we were talking about. We are going to put 10,000 yearly. We have the option to put annual deposit increase. For now, we're going to put it as 0, but realistically, you are going to increase your deposit. Press on calculate, and voila, there you go. You will see that the total investment return will be 1 million. That include 300,000, which is less than 1/3. That was our par, that was our deposit, while the total interest was more than 2/3 of the amount, 710. Let's take a look at the yearly breakdown. As you can see, in year 1, we started with 10,000 and we only earned $700 of interest. That's because we are only earning 7% in this formula. And you can see at the end of the year, our balance was 10,700. Now, you can see at the second year, we deposit another 10,000. So now we have 20,000. On the 20,000, we earn the 7%, which is 700 multiplied by 2. That's 1,400. But as you can see here, we earned 1,449. Now the 49, this is the power of compound interest. This is the interest we earn on the 700 that we made interest in the first year. So this is when we say money makes money, the rich getting richer. Money honestly just generate more money when you put it in investment. This 49 came from the 700 that we just earned the previous year. And if you look at the third year, now we have 30,000 in our total deposit. And if you look at the interest we earned that year, instead of earning 2,100 on the 30,000, we actually went and earned 2,250. That's an additional of 150 that you are making on the previously earned interest. You can pause the video and take a look at the full table if you want. But I really encourage you to play with the table yourself, play with any of the online compound interest calculator. The more you see different scenarios, the more it encourages you to start saving toward your first 100,000. Now let's take a look. If we only have 100,000 and we stop saving, how much that will generate return for us. So if we set up the initial investment to 100,000, we kept the interest earned at 7%, and we went and removed the additional deposit and press on calculate. You can see that 100,000 with no additional deposit for 30 years, it will still generate $761,000. So as you can see, your initial balance was just a small part compared to 661,000 interest earned during that time. That's why reaching the 100,000 as soon as possible should be your target. Charles Munger, the right hand of Warren Buffett, said it best. The first 100,000 is a bitch, but you gotta do it. I don't care what you have to do, if it's mean walking everywhere and not eating anything unless it was purchased with a coupon. Find a way to get your hands on 100,000. After that, you can ease up the gas a little bit. So let's go ahead and change the interest. So just changing it from 7% to 10%, we almost double our investment. We went from 1 million to 1.8 million in the same period. Let's take a look at other numbers, like for example 12%. We'll raise the number to 2.7, similar to before. As you can see, all the numbers start compounding harder. 15%, it will generate close to 5 million. This is all done with the same total deposit of the 300,000. That's why achieving a smaller increase in the yearly return will boost your growth over the years. So using strategies like the cover call, cash secure put, or poor man cover call will significantly help you in the long term. Even if it was on a smaller amount of your principal generating a higher return, that push the total return of your portfolio to a higher tier instead of 10, 12, or instead of 12, 15%. That might be all you need instead of taking a bigger, riskier investment that might actually set you back by losing some or big chunk of your capital. Even when we increase the amount several times from 7% all the way to 15, which is over double the percentage, the compound interest won't be able to do much unless you reach your first 100K. Before that, the compound interest amount is much smaller and it will take you a longer time. So the faster you reach the first 100K, the faster you reach your first 1 million. So in order to achieve this big goal and build a better future for yourself, you might have to make some sacrifices. You might have to change your coffee from buying it from Starbucks or other places to make your own coffee at home or in the office. You might have to cut out on going to the diner and keep it to the very minimum and you instead eating at home, and cut out on going out with friends every week if it was expensive options. You might able to join them for a hike, for alternative things to do that doesn't cost as much money, and that's only at the beginning, because realistically there's only two ways that allow you to save more money. Either you make more money or you save the money that you are making and spend less of it and save the rest toward your first 100,000. And it might be easier than you think. I was talking to a friend a few days ago, and when I was preparing for this video and I went through her finance and discussing in details, although she doesn't make a lot of money, she did spend over $50,000 on some purchases that she could have easily did without over the last 5 years. And when I sat down with her and explained to her how much this 50,000, if she would have saved it, will generate it for her over the years, she really regret her option and what she did. But you can't go back in time. You can only look forward. Making small changes and sacrifice now might mean a better retirement for you at an early age with more money to spend. As always, information provided in this video are for educational purpose only. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Thank you guys, and see you in the next video.